Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So here's the tools you're going to need to build the sharpener. You're going to need a drill with a bit, a sliding square, or a tape measure, or a ruler is fine as well. 2 blocks of wood, one that is roughly 1/4 inches thick, and the other one is about 3/4 inch thick. And I've cut these to about 2 inches wide by 4 inches. You're going to need some screws. You're also going to need some threaded inserts. This is not necessary. You can use regular screws, but I prefer using the threaded inserts. They last longer. The bolts that go with the threaded inserts, you want something that's roughly 1.5 inches long for that. The shower curtain hooks, rollers, so these spin, these little wheels spin, and you're going to need just the plastic part. You won't need the hook, so we'll be cutting that off. I'm going to need drill bits, pencil, snips to cut off the hooks, and your sharpening stone to give you the width for the wheels. So let me show you how to build it. Let's get started. Okay guys, so here's the first step. You're going to take your small block and you're going to measure in 5/16 from the edge on both sides. And we're going to do the same on the block here and here. Then we're going to measure out the center. What I like to do is find approximate center with the sliding ruler, and then I flip it to the other side like this. Now I just have to drill in the center of my 2 marks here. Same on this side. Flip the wood around. So drill in the center of those. Do the same here. Just extend my line a little bit. So that center right here. Do the same. And that's the center right there. So I've got my smaller drill bit. Just drill in the center. Same on the other side. And what I can do, instead of using my marks, is use the first set of holes. So I did a mistake there, but oh well, not a big deal. So those are my marks for the threaded inserts. So next steps will be to take your larger drill bit, and the drill bit that you're choosing needs to be roughly the same diameter as the shaft. That way it'll thread in nicely and tight, because if you drill too big, these threads won't catch. Okay, drill the other side now. I drilled completely through here, but it's not a big issue. Shouldn't matter. Okay. Now take your threaded insert. And the way these works is you need to find a hex key that fits right here. And you insert the hex key and you just turn as if you would turn the bolt. And the threads will cut into the wood, bite down. And we want to be pretty much flush. Do the same on the other side here. The wood tore out a bit, but that doesn't matter. I'll have plenty of meat left for the thread to work. Okay, we're done with that part. As I said earlier, you don't need these. You can always use just regular screws because this plate is what will be wedging like this, and your blade is going here between the two of them. And then we're going to be using screws to tighten the blade in place. So you can use regular wood screws, but I prefer using the threaded inserts because they're stronger and they'll last longer. Okay, so the next step is to measure out whatever stone that you're using. My stone is 3 inches. So I want these wheels to be slightly more narrow than the width of the stone. So let's say 2 3/4. What I'll do is I'll mark the edge of the stone here and here, and I'll give myself, let's see here, the center of the plastic is here, so let's go in about 1/8. That will be my measurement on both sides to pre-drill so that we can put the screws. So the measurement I got is 1 1/8 inches. So I'll just make my mark here at 1 1/8 inches, somewhere near the middle. And I'll do the same on the other side. Roughly 1 1/8 inches. And again, the same deal. I'll find somewhere near the center. Flip my ruler around. Split the difference. My center's right there. Do the same on this side. Flip it around. And find the middle of the two marks. That's my center, that's my center. Like I said, doesn't need to be extremely precise. Okay, now that we've got that done, we're almost done. We're going to need to cut off these little hook things. Break them off. And okay, so I've got the little metal hooks out. What we'll do is we'll center the plastic rollers with our marks, and we're going to take our 1/2-inch screws and just screw it in to our marks. And make sure you keep this centered. I'm going to reduce the torque on my drill here and switch this over to 1. Still too tight. Okay, that's good. And then the same on this side. Center the tip of the screw to our mark. Here we go. So these are the little rollers, and we'll be rolling like this. Now, off camera, I widened the holes so that the bolts can slide in as such, because the first holes I drilled were much too small. So you need the bolts to be able to slide through these holes. And what you're going to do is screw these in like so from the top. We'll get my chisel. And the way this guide works is the chisel goes between the 2 plates like this, and you adjust it in or out. And I'll clip this video off here and I'll show you how to use the sharpening jig. Okay guys, so here's how to use the jig. As you see, there's an opening here, and that's where your chisel or your plane iron will go. So you're going to place the bevel down towards the wheels, so in the same direction as the wheels, like this. The wheels are going down on the rock or stone, sorry. And so you're basically going to tighten up the blade, just snug. And we're going to check to see if we're straight. So I know that this block here is perfectly 90 degrees. We're just going to lay it on the front edge here, and we're going to check to see if the blade is perfectly 90 degrees, and it is. So that means I can snug it down a little bit more using the 2 screws. And the next step is to take a marker and mark the bevel of the chisel, and we're going to pull a couple strokes, and we want to see a nice shiny edge all along the bevel. Now we can see here that I'm not covering the whole of the bevel, so that means the angle is off, and I'm also only hitting one side. So what I'll have to do is push this in a little bit to change the angle. And remember to check the square, and we'll see what that does. So I'll retighten the blade. So by adjusting the in and out, you're changing the degree of the angle. So you just play with that until you find the spot where it's getting worn away even on the bevel. Take a couple more passes to see how we're doing. And as you can see, I found the correct angle. So I'm just gonna snug this up because I wasn't completely snug. And here's a trick before I let you go. If you want a secondary bevel at the front of your blade, so a secondary angle, you can take a couple pieces of duct tape, and this will increase the angle, giving you your secondary bevel. So what you're going to do is make sure the wheels are touching only the masking tape, not the stone. And we're going to gently, let's mark it to see our progress. So just going to take some black marker yet again. And we want to see a nice thin edge at the end of the chisel. So we'll do a couple strokes and see how it looks. And as you can see, I probably need to raise it a little bit more, but we are developing a secondary bevel right at the end. Now, the reason it's not perfectly even is because I think I didn't add enough tape. So I just need to keep adding tape to get that bevel angle a bit higher. So let's remark it and try again. There we go. So we got a nice secondary bevel, and this will be ready to move up to the next grit.